Students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian. I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here in Western Canada. I hope that all of you have had a great week, and I hope you're looking forward to an awesome weekend. Everybody, this is an IELTS listening class. We will be doing an IELTS listening section in part, listening to a topic about registering for a gym membership. And about a vacation, a destination, specifically Calgary here in Canada. This is a subscribers chat class. Of course, everybody is welcome to watch, but to join the chat, and I was just bringing up the chat here on my screen so I can see all of you beautiful participants. To join the chat, you just have to subscribe to the channel, and it's free. And I can see that we've got our members, Fwong Elizabeth, here with us, our chat moderator, Carolina, and we have Kruti, David, Anna, Riyadh, and many, many more of our subscribers already in and participating, chatting. That is great. It's a great place for you to meet other like-minded individuals who are planning to live or study abroad. Be very careful with your personal information, as always, online. Be responsible. But that aside, you have a lot of chances to help one another in these classes. This lesson, these materials, these audio materials, listening exam, it's brought to you by aehelp.com. For academic IELTS, visit us there. For general IELTS, check us out at gieltshelp.com. These are the websites that power these live classes. They are our websites. This is aehelp.com with the blue background. Click that big red button there to join the premium version of our course so that you get access to all of the videos, practice exams, audio materials, much, much more. We're an IDP affiliate, we're a British Council partner, and we're an IELTS test registration center. We're certified British Council agents. You are in great hands with us for your IELTS exam preparation needs. General IELTS, gieltshelp.com, green background, same idea, the big red button. The listening section of the academic and the general IELTS is the same, okay? General IELTS and academic IELTS students sit together for the listening part of the IELTS test. Again, you can click that big red button above my head to access the premium version of our course, and we'll return to these websites shortly to do the listening for today's class. You can use this code IDEA9 for an extra 10% off when you join the premium course, and you can link the apps Academic IELTS Help and General IELTS Help to our websites for some learning on the go. Instagram, yeah, like I keep saying, we're really excited. We're about to reach 100,000 followers on IELTS_AE Help and GIELTS Help. So we're really excited about that. We'll have some news as that happens and some special promos. If you have questions, you can ask Carolina in the chat. She can help you with a lot of questions. You can also send me an email if I'm not able to answer during the stream. Here are the email addresses: adrian@aehelp.com, admin@aehelp.com. You can find our exam books on Amazon, AE Helps Academic IELTS and GE Helps General IELTS. And by all means, keep coming back to these live classes. Tomorrow we've got speaking part 2, a cue card question, and we've got speaking part 3 that will be for everybody. And then we have new videos for you all the time. In this case, we've got this one for you here. You can check that out. I just put that into the chat there. Listening strategies. Let's get into it. So today we're using our second exam from our exam books. You'll see that very shortly. Listening strategies for the IELTS. The first strategy, okay. Use the instruction time to get an idea of each of the 4 topics for each section or part. I'll show you what I mean in a second here. Okay, strategy 2 is be an active listener. Okay. That means visualize the content, be a part of it, okay, and think logically. As you listen and answer, okay, a lot of questions can be answered through logic. Again, I'm going to show you these as we move through the questions. So here we're doing this exam. It's page, let's see. For those of you who have access to the premium version of the course, it's page 84 in your exam books. Okay. All right. So let's listen to the audio. We'll look at the topics of each one during the instructions. I'm going to be doing that, so pay attention to what I'm doing. Basically, what I'm doing is what you should be doing. Now, this is what the paper-based exam looks like, okay? And don't want you to be confused. If you're doing the computer-based exam, it's going to look a little bit different, all right? Computer-based exam, it's even easier to go through all of the questions because you have all the numbers at the bottom of the computer screen in the IELTS, so 1 to 40. You can really easily jump around the different parts of the listening. What we're looking at on the screen here is more like what the paper-based version of the exam looks like. You should definitely choose the computer-based version of the IELTS exam if you can touch type. Okay, if you don't know how to touch type, learn to touch type. Okay, if you don't have time to learn to touch type, you need to do the IELTS very soon, then do the paper-based version of the test. Okay, so writing by hand. All right, that's most important for the writing section, but also important for the listening and reading sections as well. So I highly recommend the computer-based as long as you touch type. If you don't touch type, then do the paper-based. Now, if you touch type, make sure to practice touch typing in English. Super important, okay? All right, everybody. There's a lot of great free software out there to learn touch typing. One that you can use is called Typeland. I'm just writing this in the chat for you. You can also use rapidtyping.com. Okay, so those ones are good. All right, great way to learn English, touch typing. Okay, everybody, so let's do the listening. I'm going to put on my headphones so I can hear, right? It's good to use headphones if you've got them. If not, no worries. And then we'll jump to the website. And this is CD2 Track 1. So again, on the website, you join the premium package by clicking the big red button right there, just above my head. Once you're in, you can go to a lot of the benefits here, the computer-based practice exams, full interactive course. But right now we're going to these audio CDs, and we're into test 2, so it's going to be CD2 Track 2. I would probably remove the CDs here eventually, since I think many people are forgetting what a CD even is. All right, let's listen. Let's do this.
This recording is copyrighted by 2 Think One Solutions Inc. and World ESL Tutors. You will hear several different recordings and you will answer questions on what you hear. There will be time given to read the instructions and questions, and you will be given a chance to check your work. The recordings will be played only once. The test is made up of 4 sections. At the end of the test, you will have 10 minutes to transfer your answers to the answer sheet. Now turn to Section 1. Listening Section 1. You will hear a conversation between 2 men as one of the men buys a gym membership. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 5. You will see that there is an example. This time only, the conversation relating to this question will be played.
Good afternoon. I'm interested in purchasing a gym membership.
Of course, sir. What length of membership are you looking for? We have options ranging from 1 month to 2 years.
Can I get one for 3 months? I don't want to make too much of a commitment.
Of course.
The man says he wants a 3-month membership, so this answer has been indicated for you. Now we shall begin. You should answer the questions as you listen, because you will not hear the recording a second time. Listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 5.
Good afternoon. I'm interested in purchasing a gym membership.
Of course, sir. What length of membership are you looking for? We have options ranging from 1 month to 2 years.
Can I get one for 3 months? I don't want to make too much of a commitment.
Of course. Before we can get you started on getting into shape, I'm going to need some personal details from you.
Certainly.
Let's start with your name.
William Bacon.
Bacon spelled the same as the breakfast food?
Yes. B-A-C-O-N.
OK, William. Now I need your residential address.
Oh, please call me Bill. I feel odd being called William.
OK, Bill. So your address then?
Right. I live at 1653 Spooner Street in Liverpool.
Oh, I know that street. My grandmother lived there when I was growing up. The street name is spelled with an A, is it not?
Yes, that's right. Spooner is spelled S-P-O-O-N-A-R.
And your postcode here in Liverpool?
PK387YQ.
TK387YQ?
No, PK387YQ.
Right. Now we need your date of birth.
April 9th, 1980.
And your telephone numbers, starting with your home number.
I don't have a home number, just a mobile number. It is 312-77-8391.
Fine then. Now, do you have any medical issues we should know about, such as asthma?
I have no medical concerns. I am in perfect health as far as I know.
Now, I need to ask you a few questions to find out what type of gym membership fits your lifestyle the best.
There is more than one type of gym membership?
Oh yes, there are a number of different options. We have our most basic membership, which allows you to work out on the machines on the main floor of our town centre facility. Then there is our premium membership, which allows members usage of the machines on the second floor of our town centre facility, as well as access to our third floor lounge.
What is so special about the machines on the second floor?
Nothing really, but our gym is extremely busy, and often the machines on the second floor are the only ones available. However, as I said, they are only open to the premium members.
Tell me about the lounge.
Our lounge is fantastic. The room is big, about 50 feet by 50 feet, and we have 2 large televisions and many comfortable chairs. There is also full bar service and a complimentary snack bar.
You now have some time to look at questions 6 to 10. Now listen to the rest of the interview and answer questions 6 to 10.
That sounds great. Are there any other membership options?
Yes, there is one more. We call it the Premium Plus membership, and it allows customers to use any of our gym facilities in the country.
So if I go to London or Kent or Newcastle, can I use your gyms there?
Well, yes, but we don't currently operate a gym in Newcastle. We do, however, operate a total of 22 gyms in England, not including this one in Liverpool.
23 gyms, that's impressive. What is the price difference between these memberships?
Well, at your 3-month level, the basic membership is £53. The premium is £84 and the premium plus is £95.
That's quite a step up from basic to premium.
Yes, but it's quite good value for the additional services and location options.
I'll have to think this over a bit before I make a decision.
Just so you know, Bill, we are running a promotion right now. If you sign up another person along with yourself, we will give both of you premium memberships for the price of basic memberships.
Wow, that's a great deal. I wonder who I should ask to join with me. Greg loves to work out, but he's already has a gym membership. I could ask Steve, but he's so busy with work all the time. I think I will ask my neighbour Kate. She's been trying to get back into shape after having her baby last autumn.
Wonderful. I will see you soon then.
Yes, you will. Sorry, I didn't catch your name.
It's Mike, and it was a pleasure helping you.
I will hopefully be in tomorrow with Kate. Does 11 work?
No, sorry, I'm not in until midday.
I will see you midday then.
That is the end of section 1. You will now have half a minute to check your answers.
Okay, students, always check your answers in that half minute. We'll go through the answers together now. So, yeah, that's how the listening starts for part 1. In many cases in the IELTS, it will be some kind of common situation that we often find ourselves in. Okay, and here we find ourselves in the common situation of registering for a gym membership. Now, at the beginning, you heard about 1 minute of instructions saying, you know, it's the IELTS exam, it's copyrighted material, etc. You even heard this example, just so that you're clear, there is no example in the IELTS since 2020. That was one of the changes made in 2020. They took the example out of the listening section. The other small change that they made is they replaced the word section with part 1, part 2, part 3. So those were the slight adjustments. Okay. Nothing major. The one negative of not having the example is it's a little bit shorter for the instructions, but not much. During that instruction time, you need to look at the topics and do exactly what I did. So you probably saw that at the beginning, I looked at the topics. I saw that here we're looking at a gym membership. So somebody signing up for gym memberships. That's part 1. And then part 2, I noticed that, okay, there's something about the province of Alberta here, right? And then I realized that the repeating word, this is what you're looking for. Are there any words that seem to really kind of repeat? And you can see that here the word Calgary is repeating again and again and again, and it's a big C. So Calgary is someplace. Hopefully you realize that it's the name of a city. And so it's some kind of information about this city of Calgary. And then in section 3, you see that, okay, well, student goes to see their professor, and then they talk about the time of the classes, and they talk about some assignments. So basically, I know that it's some kind of a discussion between a student and the professor for part 3. And then part 4, I was able to catch that this is some information about the famous dinosaur Tyrannosaurus Rex, or T-Rex. Okay. Swasti's asking, is it necessary that complex words or sentences be used in speaking? That's a little bit off topic, Swasti. We're focusing on listening, but no, it's not. It's not 100% necessary. It's more important that you're coherent. Okay. All right. So we identified the topics, and now these topics are kind of swimming around in my head as I'm doing this 1 hour listening section. It takes about 40 minutes to listen to all of the audio and answer all the questions. And then usually you have about another 10 minutes for checking the questions, making sure they're okay. So it's roughly 50 minutes to an hour to complete the 4 parts of the listening. Okay. All right. Let's go back to part 1, and we'll go through the answers together, and I will talk to you about strategies for part 1. So the first strategy for part 1, especially when you're doing this form completion, is to be patient. Okay. Why am I saying that? Well, it's because often for part 1, they give you the answers twice, sometimes even 3 times. Okay. So part 1 tip, be patient. Okay. They often give answers twice. Okay. Sometimes even 3 times. So maybe even thrice. Okay. Thrice means 3 times. Like they did in this case, right? So listen carefully and check for spelling accuracy. They do this kind of like, how well can you spell in English, especially when somebody is dictating. That's because a lot of people deal with that. So when university students go to an English university in another country, one of the first situations you find yourself in is talking to an administrator. Same thing with immigration, talking to an administrator, and they will say, hey, can you spell your name, please? So it's very important basic information, and they want to make sure that you can do it. Okay, so here there's a gym membership application form. We have the name. The name here is William something. Yeah, Anahita is saying they don't spell Kate. That's a good point, Anahita. That's because Kate is such a simple spelling. It's Kate. And for band 9 or band 8, they figure that a band 8 or a band 9 level student should be able to spell the words Kate or John or Mike, some of these very, very common names. Okay. David says the correct answer is bacon. Ming agrees. I agree too. It's bacon, like the breakfast food, and they spell it B-A-C-O-N. Bacon. William Bacon, like the breakfast food, right? Now, of course, unlike the breakfast food, you have to make sure that you're using a big B. Okay? If you use a small b, it will be wrong. All right? Man, Sisodia, I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. Yeah, thank you. Okay, and here it's step by step. Sometimes these form completions, they're not completely step by step, so pay careful attention. The address, number 2, the address is 1653 something street. Okay, so what street is this person living on? It's Spoonar Street. Yeah, spelled with an A. Okay, so S-P-O-O-N-A-R. They spell it. They do spell it. So you have to get it when they spell it. Okay, it's Spoonar Street. And they even make sure that you're clear on that it's not with an E, it's with an A. They're like, yeah, that's with an A, right? And the guy's like, yes, it's a Spoonar with an 8. Spoon, of course, like the spoon, right? So we should know that. Spoon. Okay. There you go. Spoon, right? You see that in the chat? Yes? Okay. So Spoonar, Spoonar, A-R at the end, okay? You need to know the spelling of a lot of common words like fork, knife, right? Okay, the city is Liverpool, so don't write that, okay? You cannot double up on information. This is an important tip here, everybody, that in the IELTS, they can mark you wrong if you double up on information, okay? So be careful. This is a be careful warning here, okay? If you double information on or in the answers, they will likely mark it wrong. So do not double. So pay careful attention to given information. Like the word pound, okay? or the symbol. Can I get the symbol? I wonder. No. Okay, so the symbol for the pound. If you don't see it, then you can use it. So British pound, it looks like that, the symbol. If you see it, don't write the word pound. Okay, you can't double up on information. If you see the symbol for dollars like that, don't write the word dollars. If you see the symbol for percent, don't write percent. Okay, it's important. Don't double up information. Right? They're checking and making sure that you're paying attention to what is given, what is not given. Okay. IELTS is a thinking exam, everybody. It's not just an English exam. You do have to apply not a lot of thought, but definitely a certain amount of thought and attention to what you're doing. Okay. All right. Postal code. Spaces don't matter. I get that question often. Does it matter if I have a space, like like they often write, or I don't need it? David says the postal code is PK387YQ. I'll take your word for it. PK387YQ. Yes. Use capital letters, so use big letters for clarity. Okay, that's another important tip, everybody. All right. You can get it correct if you're using lowercase letters for postal codes or for other similar information, but it's better to use uppercase or big capital letters because it's easier to see for the examiner. Okay, this is just a tip. All right. So with postal codes, also like social insurance numbers, and similar information, use uppercase, big letters, okay, for clarity. Okay, if the examiner can't read it, if they don't know if it's a Y or a V, you get it wrong. Okay, all right, it's that simple. So use uppercase. Good, everybody? Yes, clear on that little tip there? So PK387YQ, spaces don't matter. In fact, don't put spaces because it's an unnecessary detail and it can waste time and maybe even create some problems. Okay, Carolina says, yeah, that's good. Fong says, yes, yes, yes. Okay. Residential phone number. Mr. Spooner, or Willie, sorry, Bacon, Mr. Bacon, Bill Bacon. Residential number, Anahita says no, none. Yeah, no residential number, none. Easy one. Don't misspell it. You have the word none here at the bottom also for medical issues, and that's a given one. So write no or none, okay? Meanwhile, Mr. Kamaboko Gunpachiro is sharing some exciting news with us. Thank you for sharing, Kamaboko. Kamaboko is sharing this news with us, and I love the little explosion there, Kamaboko. It's a boom, right? It's all right. You're speaking my lingo. The boom. Kamaboko says, "Hi, Adrian. I got my IELTS results today. Overall, 8.5. Writing, 7.5. Listening, reading, speaking, 8.5. Kamaboko, congratulations. That will get you a rapid entry visa, as well as admission to just about any university program in the world. So, very, very nice. Yeah, writing section, right? It's the most challenging to get that high score, for sure. I'm all too familiar with that. So yes, 7.5, very interesting. Very nice job. Very nice job. Kamaboko, send me an email. We would love to, I would love to post your testimonial. Kamaboko, this is my email here. So good encouragement, students. We love seeing these high marks because now you know that yes, it is possible, and the right strategies, the right techniques will get you the high marks. Okay. All right, Swasti, these materials are coming from our website that we're looking at. You're very, very welcome, Kamaboko. Please send me an email, okay? Please send me an email, all right? Love to get your testimonial. Getting back to Mark here, okay? So those were the first 5 questions, and then you had a little bit of time to review. You have this kind of diagram matching. Sometimes it's a diagram completion question. Pay attention. Similarities, differences, right? We can see that A and C are squares. B and D are rectangles. Clearly, they're either going to be these two or either these two, right? Makes sense. Now, as soon as, and you saw me kind of write this, so 50 by 50. Okay, well, simple geometry here. 50 by 50 is a square, so that narrows our choices to A to C. And then it says many chairs in front of the TVs. We can assume that these little boxes are the chairs. C has 1 box, A has lots of boxes, so we figure out that, yeah, A is probably the right one, right? So A with the lots of boxes. Okay, so A is the correct answer. We mark it in our answer sheet, and then we move on. All right. So now we go to the matching. This one's given A, so we know that really we have a 50-50 here, right? B is either 1 or 2, or C is 1 or 2. So we have to listen carefully. And again, this is a typical question where logic, right? If you have, logic, then it's going to make sense, right? So logically, the premium plus is which answer? And you're probably like, why did he just jump? What happened there? And this is one question. So this is just question 6. So in your answer sheet, you're going to have basically like a space like this. This is for the paper-based exam. You have question 6, and then you'll need to do B something, and then C something like this, okay? Yeah, and C is 2, and B is 1, okay? And I started with C because it makes sense. So premium plus, access to facilities around England. It makes sense that that would be a premium plus membership where you can basically just go to any gym around England, okay? And then, of course, the premium is 1, okay? All right, so looks like that, all right? Okay, now, here we have just short answer. This is called a short answer type. Be very, very careful with the instructions. Here it says no more than 2 words, okay? So 1 to 2 words. Often these answers will be then 1 word, and maybe 1 or maybe 2 will be 2 words, but most of them will still be kind of 1 word. In the computer-based version of the test these days, and also the paper-based, oftentimes I have found that the answers are just 1 word. Okay, so keep that in mind. Just 1 word, 1 keyword. Okay. So number 7, how many gyms does the company operate in England? They say it very, very clearly. So, and actually the answer is given twice. Fuang says it's 23, yeah. So the administrator says 22 not including this one, and then they say 23 in all, and then yeah, that's right. So the answer's there twice, okay? Pluto got it, Vaibhavi got it, Pima got it, Pruti got it. It's good. Very nice. Okay. What is the cost of the premium membership? Remember what I said earlier? If they give you the word, don't write it. So here they gave you the word pounds. So don't write pounds. You just need the number. Yeah. Pritam, Shaksijahan, David, Anahita, Kruti. Very nice. 84. So all you need here is just 84. 84. That's it. Right? It's fast. Don't overthink it. 84. Move on. Number 9, who is Bill going to ask to join him at the gym? Now, here you could have a couple different answers, and some of these questions in the IELTS, it's not just one answer that's correct. There's a few different answers that can be correct, as long as it's accurate. Okay? Kate is good. Nat says his neighbor. Yeah. You could write Kate, or you could write neighbor. Okay? Neighbor would be okay. Kate would be okay. Both of those answers are accurate. Both of them will get a correct mark. Okay, so it's okay. All right. What time is Bill meeting Mike the following day? This one, the spelling is a little bit tricky, but the answer was very, very clear. You can do this in a couple different ways. Okay. The correct answer for this one, I wonder if anybody got it. Yes, Ming. Very good. It's midday. Common noun. Now, if you don't know that midday is one word, you could also do noon. Okay, that would also be acceptable. It's a correct answer. You could also do 12 p.m., but you have to make sure that you write p.m. Okay, so this would be correct as well. Now, just writing 12 technically is not right because it can also indicate midnight, so you have to write 12 p.m. Okay, because it's 2 words, this would be counted as 2 words and correct, right? Midday Pima is 1 word. Tricky. So again, if you're not sure, if you're like midday, I know that word, but is it 1 word or 2 words? Mid is generally never a word on its own. So mid is either a hyphenated prefix or it's a part of the word. We generally don't use mid as a separate word. We use middle, but not mid. Okay. All right, students. So that's part 1. Now, part 1. If some of you are thinking, "Hey, that was kind of easy," that's good. Okay. If you're thinking that was easy, that's a good thought because you should be thinking that was easy. If you're thinking part 1 is hard, it's probably a little bit too early to sit the IELTS exam. Okay, so what did you get out of 10? Ideally, you're getting 9 or 10. Okay, so 9 or more for part 1. All right, if you're getting like less than 7, you're going to have some challenges getting over a band 6. Okay, so 9 is okay. 10 is great. 8 is okay. Anything less than 7, you should be like, maybe I need to go back and do a little bit more before the IELTS, right? Okay. All right, everyone. So let's jump in. We're going to do section 2. So we're going to jump right in. And we will talk strategy after as well. So just like we did with part 1, listen, answer while you listen. Don't put your answers into the chat. Just share them after. Okay. So back to the website. Again, this is aehelp.com. gltshelp.com, by the way, has the same listening. So if you're a general IELTS student, you want to be here and you want to click this big red button there to join the premium version, and you will be able to access the materials the same as the academic. And then when you're in your My Student account, you're in the interface. And then let's jump into part 2.
Now turn to section 2. Take some time to look at questions 11 to 16. Listening section 2. You will hear a recording of a travel show about tourism to Calgary, Canada. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 16. Now listen carefully to the interview and answer questions 11 to 16.
Hello, I'm Deborah Sloan, and welcome to Hotspots, the travel show that highlights great tourist spots around the world. Today we have a representative from Calgary, Canada, who is going to tell us a little about the city.
Thanks, Deborah. Yes, my name is Robert, and I'm going to tell you all about the wonderful city of Calgary.
Sorry, I hate to interrupt, Robert, but can you tell me exactly where Calgary is? I'm sure many of our viewers are wondering.
Sure. Calgary is the largest city in the province of Alberta, which is the second most western province in Canada. Alberta lies directly east of the province of British Columbia, of which Vancouver is a very well-known tourist destination, and directly west of the province of Saskatchewan, of which Regina is the capital. Canada is a very big place, and that is shown by just how far Calgary is from many of the other major Canadian cities. Calgary is over 1,000 kilometres from Vancouver and over 3,400 kilometres from Toronto, Canada's largest city.
Canada is definitely a very spacious country.
Yes, indeed. Well, let me tell you a little about Calgary. Calgary is a beautiful city of approximately 1 million people, situated next to the Rocky Mountains. It is known most, perhaps, for the world-famous Calgary Stampede.
Is that with the cowboys and bull riding?
Yes, and it's held every July in the city. The Stampede attracts more than 1 million visitors each year from all over the world. It is referred to as the greatest outdoor show on earth. Another fact that Calgary is well known for is oil, which was first discovered in the area in 1902. With the boom in oil prices over the past 40 years, Calgary has seen its population grow from 400,000 in 1971 to over 1 million in 2007. In that time period, Calgary was by far the fastest growing city in Canada. Many sports fans will know that Calgary was host to the 1988 Winter Olympics, and to this day Calgary remains a winter activity destination, with several world-class facilities dedicated to many winter sports, from bobsled to curling to speed skating and everything in between. One of Calgary's biggest icons is its hockey team, the Calgary Flames, who play in the National Hockey League, or NHL as it's better known. Well, they have been one of the more successful teams in the league during their 30 years in Calgary, even winning the coveted Stanley Cup in 1989.
You now have some time to look at questions 17 to 20. Now listen to the rest of the interview and answer questions 17 to 20.
On the cultural side of things, Calgary boasts a number of festivals during the year, including a fringe festival, a comedy festival, as well as the Calgary International Film Festival. Calgary is also home to numerous theatre companies, as well as the Calgary Opera, Alberta Ballet, and the Calgary Philharmonic Orchestra.
Sorry to interrupt again, Robert, but this programme is called Hotspots. So what's the weather like in Calgary? I've heard it's cold.
Yes, in the winter it can be quite cold, but in the summer it is also quite warm, with average summer high temperatures hovering around 23 degrees Celsius, while average winter high temperatures are around -2 degrees and routinely go down to -20. Calgary experiences something quite unique when it comes to the weather. It has these weather fronts called Chinook winds, which can blow through the city in the winter and temporarily raise the temperature by up to 15 degrees Celsius. These Chinook winds can last anywhere from a few hours to a few days, and they are welcomed with open arms by the people of Calgary. Calgary is also one of the sunniest cities in Canada, as well as one of the driest, which makes up for a lot of the cold weather. Honestly though, if you're looking for a winter getaway to a hot spot, as you say, Calgary is not the place to go. But if you are looking for a winter getaway that includes skiing or snowboarding or anything else done best in the cold weather, nobody does it better than Calgary.
Thank you, Robert, for that fascinating look at Calgary.
That is the end of section 2. You will now have half a minute to check your answers.
Check your answers, students, for spelling, for accuracy. Sometimes students realize, oh, wait a second, that said winter, not summer. Okay. And then you catch a mistake. So lots of energy, pay careful attention, be very active all the way through the the listening from start to finish. Okay. All right, let's go through the answers together. Now, when I'm doing the highlighting with the purple and I'm moving the screen, I'm basically showing you the pattern that you should be following, the logical pattern or a similar pattern when you're doing your paper-based or computer-based exam, right? So you'll notice a couple of interesting tips or tricks or strategies that I applied through this part 2, right? So we looked at this first one here. Now there's 2 questions here, question 11 and question 12, right? The questions are, what are 2 provinces directly west and directly east of the province of Alberta? This says match the diagram with the choices given below. Now, they give me these names: Vancouver, Saskatchewan, Calgary, British Columbia, Regina. They're the names of cities and provinces in Canada. And then they give me a little compass here as well. This is called a compass, the nautical directions. So we've got north, we've got east, we've got south, and we've got west, right? This here obviously is southwest, southeast, northeast, and northwest. So we've got the 4 cardinal directions and then the intermittent directions as well. So number 11 was a little bit tricky because of the wording, but it was okay when you figured it out. So number 11, they say something lies directly west of Alberta and something lies directly east of Alberta, or said the opposite way, Alberta is east of and west of. So number 11 should be, that's right, Anahita, it's D. It is British Columbia. That's where I am, everybody. So I'm in British Columbia. I'm in the capital city of British Columbia, which is Victoria. So this one here is D. Okay, it's British Columbia. And then, well, if you know Canadian geography, then this will be easy. Now, if you're planning to study in Canada or move to Canada for immigration, learn the provinces, right? We don't have nearly as many as, for example, the U.S. with its 51 states. And we certainly don't have as many states as India either. I think India has 30 something. So, or as many provinces as China, for example. There's 10 provinces, 3 territories. So if you're planning to come to Canada, you don't have to memorize all their capital cities, but just the provinces, learn them. It's good to know. They come up in conversation a lot, okay? And they got some fun names, right? Like Nova Scotia, Newfoundland, and Labrador. Okay. All right. So number 12 is B. Okay. A is a city, E is a city, C is a city. There's actually only 2 provinces. So Saskatchewan and British Columbia are the only 2 provinces. Okay. David says, I've learned about Canada by watching global news. Yes, certainly you will learn lots about Canada when you watch global news as well. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so correct answers D and B. If you're not sure how that happened, check the transcripts at the back of the book. So check the script for the audio and it tells you there. They say Alberta lies directly west of the province of Saskatchewan and east of the province of British Columbia. Okay, so the speaker is positioning from Alberta, which is where Calgary is found, just past the Rocky Mountains that kind of join British Columbia and Alberta, the Rocky Mountains. Okay, multiple choice. Very common question. I get, so this is multiple choice, but it's multiple choice. And a very common question I get is, what is the trick to multiple choice? How do I do multiple choice questions? I always get these ones wrong. Okay. The tip for multiple choice questions. Okay. Listen for the answer. And take notes. Okay. Do not expect answers to jump out at you. That's the biggest mistake. It's not just about what strategy works, it's about what strategy doesn't work, and there are lots of bad strategies. A couple of the bad strategies, listen for keywords, can be a good strategy, can be a bad strategy. Oftentimes, IELTS will paraphrase and will use different words, right? So careful listening for the words. But a bad strategy, it's certainly a bad strategy, is when students are staring at the answers. Like they'll have this one, and then they'll be like, population of Alberta, population of British Columbia, population of Calgary. Which one could it be? The number of visitors. Well, Canada's kind of small, so maybe it's like Alberta. Visitors to Calgary. And by the time they read the choices, it's like we're on to question 17. What happened? I just missed 5 answers. So no, that doesn't work, right? So you have to listen. Here there is a keyword. The keyword is a million. Numbers are hard to paraphrase, so they usually will say the number. So listen for the number million and then take notes. And hopefully you realize that million is the population of Calgary, and million is also the number of visitors, right? So this is 1314, and so the correct answers are C. And the number of visitors to the Calgary Stampede, that's a big event. 1 million people show up for that event. It's a party, right? I've never been to the Calgary Stampede, but one year I shall go. All right. Let's keep moving on. Yeah, Carolina, nice. Somebody's asking, do I get like a piece of paper for notes? Yeah, you do. In the paper-based and the computer-based exam, you do have paper to take notes. Okay. Only You says, I didn't read the question carefully. I only chose one. You have to be very careful with that, students. Choose 2 letters from A to E. Okay. All right, and then they move along quite quickly. Be careful, students. This is kind of a caution here. In the listening section, sometimes it takes a while for an answer to come, and sometimes they come very quickly. So it's not like they come every 5 seconds, okay? So careful. This is just kind of a warning. Answers are not evenly spaced by time, like every 15 seconds. What I mean by that is some answers come very quickly, while some answers you need to wait like 30 seconds. Okay? So there's no like recipe like every 15 seconds you will hear one of the answers. It's like, there it is. There it is. No, that would just be weird, not to mention it would be virtually impossible to make the exam sound normal in that way. So sometimes fast, sometimes slower. Pay attention, okay? I get that question, so that's why, like, why is Adrian? Sometimes I get that question, like, people are like, oh, do the answers like come, every 10 seconds? No, there's no magical recipe like that, okay? This answer came very quickly. So they say the number of visitors to the Stampede each year is 1 million. Another aspect that Calgary is well known for is oil, right? Although less so these days. It's just expensive to take out of the ground. And then, so B was very fast. Again, I'm not really paying attention to the choices or the question. I'm listening for the answer, right? I'm listening for that. Oh, another aspect Calgary is known for is oil, right? So B. Okay. 16. Which of these events did Calgary host? The Stanley Cup, the Winter Olympics, Expo 88. You have to use the information that is given. The correct answer for 16, Gurpreet and Pima and Beck all say that is the Winter Olympics. Yeah, a while back, I was at the Winter Olympics in Vancouver, that's close to my city, in 2010. The third place that they've had Winter Olympics in Canada, Montreal. I think that was the first place. They had it first in Montreal, then Calgary, now in Vancouver. I guess they could have one in Toronto as well. I'm not sure about the skiing in Toronto. Maybe? I think they've hit kind of the best places for Winter Olympics in Canada. Montreal, Calgary, Vancouver. Those are probably the best. We'll see if it comes back to Canada again. We love the Winter Olympic. We love winter sports in Canada. We love our hockey. All right. Number 17. Filling in the blanks. So little short answers, quick words, okay? Don't worry about spelling. You can always check the spelling later. When you finish the listening, you have a bit of time to check for spelling. Just make sure to get the answer, okay? All right, so average summer highs in Calgary reach how many degrees Celsius? 23, I believe, was the answer there. And you don't need the word Celsius because it's in the question. If it's not in the question, you'd have to put the word Celsius. But because it's in the question, the answer is just 23. Average summer highs in Calgary reach how many degrees Celsius? 23. If you really if you're like, 23 is, and it says 2 words, I just want to be super duper sure. You can be super duper sure by writing the word degrees. 23 degrees. The more you write unnecessarily, the greater the chance of making a mistake with spelling. So be careful. 23 degrees is okay. 23 is enough. Okay. All right, let's do it. 3 more questions. 18 to 20, completing the information. So here we have an information completion type question. A lot of this can be paraphrased. Part 2, they paraphrase less. Part 3, they paraphrase more. Part 4, they paraphrase the most. So that's one way that they increase the difficulty from part 1 to part 2 to part 3 to part 4 is they keep paraphrasing more and more and more words, okay? And grammar, expressions. So pay attention to that. Average winter highs, now it's winter, not summer. Winter highs in Calgary reach something 2 degrees. That's right, Gurpreet. That's right, Anahita. It's minus. So again, don't overcomplicate it. It was just the word minus. That's it. Minus 2 degrees. Chinook winds can raise the temperature by up to 15 degrees Celsius and can last anywhere from a few hours to a few days. That's right, Fuang. Yeah. Okay. A few hours to a few days. Calgary is also one of the driest cities in Canada as well as one of the something. And they say ust, so they're listing here dryest and something ust. Okay. Sunniest. Yeah. Okay, now this type of question, provided that you have a little bit of time before part 3, you can reread it to make sure that it makes sense. Sometimes when, and if you don't have time before part 3, then you can do it at the end of the listening. Usually you have a little bit of time. And you can read it. So read in your head, of course. Average winter highs in Calgary reach minus 2 degrees. Chinook winds can raise the temperature by up to 15 degrees Celsius and can last anywhere from a few hours to a few days. Calgary is also one of the driest cities in Canada as well as one of the sunniest. It all makes sense. It looks good. I'm happy with it. I move on. If one of those doesn't make sense or it's weird, then I change it. But only if I'm sure that it's weird or doesn't make sense. Okay? So don't change it otherwise. Otherwise, just keep it. Usually, the first answer that students give or candidates give is the right answer. Okay? All right, spelling is very important. Sunny, S-U-N-N-Y, sunniest. When we have more words or more letters at the end, we change the Y into an I. Okay, so this is just, I see a couple of people are like, the spelling. It's all small, okay, so sunniest, sunny, right? And then when you have more, so sunniest, notice how the Y turns into an I. Okay, that's true 99% of the time. There's always some rare exceptions in English, but in this case it's true. So sunny, sunniest. Okay. All right. Students, that's speaking part 1 and 2. We will do, listening. That's listening part 1 and 2. We will do listening parts 3 and 4 on Friday of next week. And then tomorrow we've got speaking part 2, speaking part 3 coming up. Now, for part 1 and part 2 in the listening, ideally you're getting 16 questions correct or more. If you're getting less than 14, you need to check what's going on. Okay, don't sit the IELTS if you're getting less than 14 correct in part 1 and 2, because part 3 and 4 are going to be more challenging, and chances are you're going to get even less correct for those parts. So if you're getting less than 14 for part 1 and 2 together, it's time to practice, okay, not time to sit the test. If you're getting 16 or more and you're doing all right in the other sections, then it's time to register for your test and learn more strategies, okay? And you can learn a ton of effective strategies with all of our practice exams. You can see here there's just tons of audio material for you to use. AEhelp.com is the academic version of the IELTS. The listening is the same for academic in general, so either one will work for that. Click the big red button up there at AEhelp.com to get into the academic IELTS. I'll put the URL in the chat here for you. If you're in these classes, like, weekly, at least once a week, get the materials so you can prepare, you can listen, you can check the transcripts, right? And it's not just a sales pitch. It really is the effective way to learn, and spending a few dollars to not sit the IELTS exam 2, 3, 4 times, it's a smart investment, and not to mention your time. General IELTS, GIELTShelp.com. Again, click that big red button. You can enter the code IDEA9 that I've got here to access the premium version, and there's just so much help there. Okay. All right, everybody. So back tomorrow with speaking part 2, speaking part 3. Speaking part 2 will be a members chat class, but of course I encourage everybody to watch that class. Carolina, thank you so much for moderating. You are so welcome. Ahmed, Parika, you are extremely welcome. Thank you so much. For those of you who are passing the IELTS exam, definitely send a testimonial. We love to hear and share the success stories of our students with those around us. So do share, everybody. AEhelp.com for academic IELTS, GIELTShelp.com for a general IELTS. Much love to all of you wherever you are in the world today. Stay positive. Look ahead. You're all beautiful, brilliant people. I look forward to welcoming you to tomorrow's class at the same time and a bit earlier. Bye for now. I'm Adrian, signing out from Victoria, British Columbia, Canada.